What does this loss against Vandy mean for Alabama? It just means that it's kind of the way things are. I don't think that Womack, the defense coordinator for Alabama, is really the right choice. But at the same point in time, if you're trying to tell me that it's all Womack and that defense would have been perfect this year if it was still Saban, I would say I don't believe you. Because Saban last year showed that his team had flaws, period. Like, there was flaws with that team. The USF game was not a good game even last year for Saban. That shit was ugly. Saban started struggling with new teams that he hadn't struggled with before. Tennessee, Texas A&M. Like, there was new anomalies that were taking place after NIL took place that Saban did not have full control over himself. The GOAT of GOATs did not have full control over it. So now you got a new defensive coordinator, you got a new coaching staff, and it's just magnified a little bit. But these anomalies were already taking place. People just ignored them. Before this last Saturday, we told you guys about Alabama and Georgia game. One thing that concerned us about those teams is that even when we were doing our rankings, is that their defenses are not as good as you think they are. They gave up way too many yards. I mean, Vanderbilt won time of possession for 42 minutes compared to 17 minutes and 52 seconds. They won the first down margin, the turnover battle, and total yards against Alabama. And it wasn't even like scheming was bad for Alabama. It was just like you weren't winning the line of scrimmage. You weren't bullying this team around. I mean, Vanderbilt was bullying you guys for a good portion of that game. You look at the Georgia game, Georgia and Alabama. I hate to break it to these two fan bases here, but your guys' defenses look okay. I mean, 547 yards Georgia allowed on defense. Alabama allowed 519. Alabama won the turnover battle 4-1. First downs, Georgia won that. Time of possession, Alabama won that. But you're talking both those defenses gave up over a combined 1,000 yards on defense. That's outrageous. That is absolutely outrageous. You look at the USF game, right? Another key indicator here, if you're looking at this game, 309 yards they gave up while only getting 393. Alabama still turned the ball over 3 times. You're starting to see consistency here where they're turning the ball over. Their defense is not making enough stops. They're not absolutely dominating time of possession. First downs, they're not dominating that even on teams who are just not that great. You're starting to see some of these consistencies. Now, I'll tell you this. Alabama is still a team you need to absolutely fear. Same with Georgia. Georgia's not looking that great. Georgia was, before this last weekend, Georgia was 2 points away from being 2-2 on the damn season. You're not seeing domination from either one of these teams right now. But that doesn't mean that you can't eventually see domination towards the end of the year. But right now, I'm getting a little bit concerned with these two teams because they're not looking better as the year goes on. They're looking like they're taking a little bit of a down angle there. So I'm getting a little bit concerned with Alabama and Georgia. You got one loss to Vandy. Okay, whatever. Move on, win the rest of your games, you'll be fine. This team can turn it on. This team, even though they lost to Vandy, is not a team that you want to play. Okay, they're not a team you want to play in the playoff either. So they're just more normal, and people are not accepting of that. It's more normal. Okay, you lost to Vandy. I know, they're not that good. I understand. They kind of suck. They're terrible in a lot of ways. And to try and say like they're really good now, no, I'm not buying that. Stop it. But I'll say this. This is college football moving forward. It is violent. There's more talent, and it's going to keep getting harder and harder and harder because the SEC is probably going to end up going to 9 conference games. It's going to be even more difficult. It's going to be tough, okay? And this is kind of where college football is headed, where you have an ability as a great football team or even a good football team to take a loss to a lesser team. That happens. So that's kind of where we're at. I just think that this is the new college football. I don't think Alabama's way worse than they were last year. I think, yeah, they are worse than they were last year, but not to such a significant level that you should just cut the entire staff. I don't think Womack's that amazing as a defense coordinator right now for me. We'll see if that changes, but let's not pretend like Saban didn't start losing more on average after NIL than he did before NIL. There was an obvious trend of what was happening there. obvious. So that's just kind of where we're at. So if you're a Bama fan, take a deep breath. No one wants to play you guys still. You start playing with a chip on your shoulder, start doing good, you're going to probably go to the playoff. It'd be shocking if you didn't, and no one wants to play you. So take it game by game. Yeah, this is unfortunate. This is crazy, but Alabama is still very scary.